Here's the leader of Antifa. You thought he was gonna look like some Portlandia character stuff with a septum piercing. This is an AP history fella. This is from Ken Klippenstein. 29-year-old Chandler Patty has been regularly protesting outside his local ICE facility in South Portland for months, offering up his apartment to fellow protesters to use the bathroom or wash off pepper spray, according to local news. So my man is letting people use the sink and the pisser. To the Department of Homeland Security, he is the leader of Antifa. That phrase appears in an internal report produced by the DHS, the largest law enforcement agency in the country. As they see it, Patty, a young man accused of no crime and who looks like a random protester plucked off the streets of Minneapolis, is a domestic terrorist. Documents leaked to me show Patty and countless other American protesters have been branded as domestic terrorists. As a result, their private information is now being collected and stored in a DHS intelligence system shown below. Chandler Patty was identified through open source research as an active participant in the protests. Online platforms indicate he is the leader of Antifa in Portland, Oregon. This information has not been confirmed. Patty is seen in many videos advocating the principles of Antifa. He did the old, you guys come use the pisser, and now they're like, he's a terrorist. I don't know what terrorism looks like to you guys, but it does not look like sharing your sink to me. But I am a little bit of a freak. What can I say? Asked about Patty's inclusion in the system and how this squares with spokesperson Trisha McLaughlin's response to my reporting on DHS watch lists that, quote, there is no database of domestic terrorists run by DHS. The Department of Homeland Security did not respond to a request for comment. So not true. The government's elevation of an ordinary citizen like Patty to terrorist mastermind is the result of a subtle is it subtle? A subtle bureaucratic process revealed in this and other DHS documents I've obtained. They show that since almost the beginning of the Trump administration, DHS has been desperate to pull together evidence, no matter how thin, of an epidemic of left-wing domestic terrorism. The thing that cracks me up is, like, right-wingers will constantly be like, first of all, they call everybody liberals, so they see liberals as, like, weak blue hairs who, like, are chronically ill, be like, oh, I have a cough, and it makes me exempt from gym. And then they're also like, those are the terrorists. Those immunocompromised gym skippers are terrorizing our country. So the bureaucratic imperative to find terrorists among protesters is what got Renee Good and Alex Preddy killed. Customs and Border Protection, as well as other DHS sub-agencies, are hard at work producing evidence to feed the domestic terrorism frenzy through the intelligence reporting system, Next Generation, IRS&G, a portal created to track foreign terrorists trying to sneak into America. As I've reported, there are so many databases, both to feed into and extract data from, that analysts need a separate reporting system to sort out what is known and who the potential targets should be. According to Department of Homeland Security records through IRS&G, federal agents can access at least 28 different databases the government maintains, including, holy fuck, I mean, this is, I'm not gonna read every single one of these. And if that's not enough, IRS&G has access to DMV licenses, license plate data, information from electronic devices that have been confiscated or cloned, and, quote, certain law enforcement and or intelligence data, according to a DHS privacy impact assessment issued in the first week of the Trump administration. And, again, I'm just gonna remind everybody that ballroom is an AI data center. You cannot convince me otherwise. As Homeland Security agents and intelligence analysts gather information about the Chandler Patties of the country, they use IRS&G to track each individual, accessing all kinds of identifying information: legal name, aliases, birth date, social security number, passport number, home address, and biological information about their targets are all swept up. This is a screenshot from the leaked information that they're referencing. It's literally saying the details of his apartment are that an apartment located at this address was used as a safe house for protesters. The apartment unit blank was recently raided and several arrests were made. So they actually raided the apartment. The legal occupant of the apartment, Chandler Patry, did they spell his name wrong? They spelled his name wrong. Holy fuck, that's incredible. The legal occupant of the apartment, Chandler Patty, was recently arrested outside the ICE detention facility. Open source reporting indicated Patty is the leader of Antifa in Portland. This has yet to be confirmed. I mean, what a crazy... the spin. We didn't even get to the spin part, but obviously the spin from Fox is always funny. Chandler Patty was identified through an open source research as an active participant in the protests. An IRS&G entry about him says online platforms indicate he's the leader of Antifa in Portland. And the report continues, adding that he has seen in many videos advocating the principles of Antifa. The low literacy rate has hit the DHS. Oh, God. The low literacy rate is ravaging us. I mean, it's not like Trump can read. He just shit himself in the middle of that fucking meeting. He's not reading shit anymore. There's no way. Cognitively, he's pudding. There's nothing left. Online platforms, in other words, random shit they say or saw on X and Twitter, TikTok, or whatever. The same hysterics, it turns out, peddled by Fox News, whose host Laura Ingraham in October declared in a segment, Antifa Safe House exposed, and Portland police looking the other way. I mean, just, it's so silly, but this is the shit they do. Laura Ingraham says, we've identified the Antifa ringleaders and turned everything over to the DHS. Portland police know where the safe house is. They're just steps away and still refuse to act. Who watches this shit? I mean, honestly, your brain must be scrambled eggs if you're watching Fox News. Portland police looked the other way because there wasn't much to see. Asked about his supposed safe house, a soft-spoken Patty let the local news in to see it for themselves. He says, this is my very normal apartment and has been referred to by right-wing social media grifters as the Antifa Safe House, Patty told the Oregonian, but I just let people use my sink in my bathroom. Like, that's literally it. So ridiculous as all this might seem, Homeland Security officials tell me that many, if not most, federal agents have taken all the rhetoric about shadowy Antifa networks to heart. Intel frequently has Alex Jones-level paranoia and wild leaps about Antifa. One Homeland Security official told me, so-and-so has made threats and may be Antifa, such as such motorcycle club has Antifa loyalty. And all of this follows President Trump's designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization and his related NSPM 7 directive. As DHS officials have described to me the bureaucratic nightmare of having to find a legal way to implement the patently outrageous directives of an elected president whom they feel they can't just ignore. I mean, I don't know. Everyone quit. I don't have much fucking sympathy for, like, DHS officials who are still doing their job and stuff. Like, at this point, quit your fucking job. I mean, you should have done it a while ago. You never should have fucking done this job, but, like, quit your fucking jobs at this point. The government's belief that Antifa is an organized network is clear in many other DHS, IRS, NG documents about far more than just Patty. Here's another report about a so-called Antifa protester named Dustin Ragsdale, shown holding a pride flag while wearing sweatpants with the Batman logo on them. Holy shit. This is just a dude chilling. This is just a stoner. This is not a terrorist. This is just a guy who rips the fattest fucking bowls you ever seen. Per the report, Dustin Ragsdale is an Antifa protester who, through open source research, lives across the street from the ICE detention center. He is often seen with a megaphone and is aggressive to counter-protesters. Further research is currently being conducted on this individual. Open source reporting has indicated he lives across the street from the ICE detention center. I mean, dude, he lives across the street. This shit directly affects him so hard. Like, you think he's not going to be standing outside being like, hey, go the fuck home. You're making noise outside my house all the time, doing fascism. Dustin's trying to get some fucking shut-eye. Then there's Mossy Matriarch. You don't want to know about Mossy Matriarch. I almost feel bad telling you about Mossy Matriarch. This is a real leftist terror, real terror driver right here. Mossy Matriarch is the pseudonym of 30-year-old American woman and Washington State resident who works as a photographer. Dangerous. Terror. She's literally shooting people with a camera, but still shooting people. But where others might see an artist and small business owner, DHS sees a conspirator who's been advocating for people to drop supplies for the Portland protesters. To quote from its report, again, no crime is alleged. Now, I will say before we read the report, she has a septum piercing, and that's a clear sign of an Antifa terrorist. So, per the report, Mossy Matriarch is a social media influencer who is on numerous social media platforms. In recent posts, she's been advocating for people to drop supplies for the Portland protesters. She lists the address to mail supplies as P.O. Box 1603, Vancouver, Washington, 98661, or drop off supplies in person at the Cottonwood School. In a later post, she recorded all the supplies she had received and posted a video claiming to be driving these supplies to Portland and was to interview one of the organizers on her podcast. More like Terrorcast. See below some of her recent posts. Okay, this is... The following individuals have been identified as participants or supporters of the protests at the ICE detention center. How can any of this stuff be listed as, like, a crime? How can you even pretend? It's literally just saying she lists the address to mail supplies as this P.O. box with the address, or to drop off supplies in person to school. What is that? Patty Ragsdale Matriarch. Those are the three. To the record keepers, they are the enemy, and applications like the IRSNG contain the repository of confirming information. Homeland Security even insists on crediting right-wing commentators with being open source intelligence. That's fucking crazy. But there's no there. That is, except for the manufacturing of a further fractured American landscape and battlefield that Homeland Security believes it is operating on. With, quote, law enforcement sensitive stamped all over the documents, none of this would ever come out under the Freedom of Information Act or any formal channel. And forget about Congress, which seems more interested in scoring political points against administration figures like Kristi Noem than any systemic change to the Department of Homeland Security. This is who they see as the enemy, not that we had any question about it. And at this point, understand that they probably have all our information. This is a random person that they're just harassing with this shit. And it's not like anybody actually cares about it, because the Democrats just agreed to fund more of ISIS shit. So it's not like they care. They have the same sort of interests.